Hello, 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 candle lovers. Thank you so much for joining me today. My name is Greg, and this is All About Candles. I have a candle review for you today from Bath & Body Works, so let's just get right into it. I just finished off Hopper's Coffee. Work, 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 work. Mornings are for coffee and contemplation. Hopper is the old curmudgeon-y sheriff in Stranger Things who is kind of Winona Ryder's love interest, and he plays quite an integral role in helping out all of these kids in the 80s who are battling demons from the upside down demon world. I mean, it's actually a really, really good show, but I'm just so over waiting for it to come out. Like, I think the next season is going to be the last season, and I feel like it's been years since we got the last season, and so I don't even remember what point we're at in the story. All I know is that they played Kate Bush running up that hill in the last season, and I lived. I lived. Anyways, that's not what we're here to talk about. We're here to talk about Hopper's Coffee. Pretty nice wraparound label on this. I wasn't thrilled. I think we have to all kind of come to terms with the fact that, well, at least for me, the Stranger Things collections were just not what I was hoping for. The first round of candles were basically all of the characters' favorite foods. And then the second round, we all thought were gonna be like spooky, interesting candles, but we ended up with like red hot cinnamon hearts from the Demogorgon. Eddie's leather jacket I quite like, and then there's the upside down, or as I call it, the upside down Christmas tree. But anyways, we're here to talk about Hopper's Coffee. The scent notes on here are roasted coffee grounds, tonka bean, and a splash of half and half cream. And yeah, I mean, this is a really, really decent coffee candle. I like this more than Paris Cafe. I do think that this is a repackage of freshly brewed coffee. I had a freshly brewed coffee last year. I haven't bought this year's version yet, and I don't think I smelled it in the store, so I can't speak to it for certain without doing a side-by-side comparison, but it is so similar in my mind to what freshly brewed coffee was like. It was like Paris Cafe toned down a bit with a little bit more of like a creaminess to sort of cut through some of that like roastiness. And yeah, I mean, it's a pretty straight up coffee candle. The top is like coffee grounds, like fresh coffee, and then the mid to like the base range, there's a little bit of like a creaminess going on, which is nice. It's fairly well balanced for the most part. And I enjoyed it, and I enjoyed burning it, and it burned really well. Look at how clean and white that wax is. I did end up burning it outside to finish it off, and that's when I caught the little moth up there. But I did enjoy burning it inside as well. And strength and throw on this was a 7. A 7 is pretty good. And I'm honestly not sure I would have wanted it to be much more than a 7, because then you might be getting into that like Paris Cafe territory. And I like Paris Cafe when I'm in the mood for Paris Cafe. But a nice freshly brewed coffee, I did enjoy like burning this in the morning sometimes when I was starting work. Yeah, it's a nice fragrance, decent performer. It had thin core wicks on it. It burned really cleanly all the way to the bottom, and it was a 7 for strength and throw. So not much to complain about, but also not much to like praise the Lord about either. It was pretty average. Not a repurchase for me, but I will recommend it to you if you like coffee candles. I am still seeing this one in stores. In fact, right now in the store that I just went to, it's a pretty high volume store, but they now have all of the Stranger Things candles except for Steve's Scoops. So that was clearly the winner from this first round. We'll see how the second round does. I don't think that this is going over nearly as well as they were hoping that it would. I think that partly has to do with the fact that clearly this last season of Stranger Things has been delayed. And it almost makes me wonder, like, what were the conversations like, at corporate head office when Bath and Body Works had been planning on launching these candles at a time when, I mean, I'm assuming that Stranger Things was supposed to be happening around September, October, November on Netflix. And then I'm guessing that because of the writer's strike and the fact that it seems like a very expensive, complicated show to make, I'm guessing they had setbacks on the production side of things, which caused that to get moved back. But Bath and Body Works, I think they definitely have a very tight schedule on a fiscal calendar that they have to stick to. And, for the period and the week, they had to just go ahead and release these Stranger Things candles come hell or high water. And I think that it probably would have done a lot better if we also had that buzz of a new season of the show starting as well. Like, that's what they did with Bridgerton. They did a pretty good job of, leading up to the launch of the actual show. So I mean, I'd be so interested to know what those conversations were like between Netflix and Bath and Body Works. I'm sure it's not the end of the world one way or another for anybody involved, but it's interesting to me because I think that this has kind of flopped. But that's kind of just the perception I'm getting when I'm going into the store and I'm seeing that all of these are still here. I know that they're all selling out online and they sold out online quite quickly, but then you go into the store and I see piles and pyramids of them. So who knows? Yeah, not a bad candle, not a great candle. That's all I have for you today. Thank you so much for joining me. I really appreciate it. You should hit me up with a like, a comment, and hit subscribe because I'm like Tinkerbell, guys. If you don't clap for me, I die. Until next time, my dear, gorgeous, beautiful, candle-loving friends, let's burn some candles and bitch about it. Thanks, folks. Bye now.